Do you go on lots of dates, but the girl doesn't want to see you again? Are you struggling to find your flow and have a riveting conversation? Are you feeling overly nervous before and during the date? On the date, are you so in your head you feel numb inside and you can't emotionally connect with the girl? We're going to provide you with the solutions and the actions that you can take to ensure you can build that chemistry on your date so she feels that connection and is excited to see you again. It's your boys Ro and Dean from Succeed in Dating shooting a video for you today outside the Narodny Museum here in Prague to teach you why, after the date, you're getting ghosted and she doesn't want to see you again. First things first, before you go on the date, you need to establish some degree of chemistry and shared experience. This will set the narrative that you're already getting on well, which will help both of you feel more at ease leading up to and during the date. Texting alone doesn't really give her an idea of what you're like or any insight into your actual character. So one thing we recommend, make sure you send some light-hearted voice notes or have a phone call before your date begins. This will also help to prevent the girl from getting cold feet and flaking because you've given her a window into what you're actually like so she doesn't feel as nervous.
The headspace and emotional state that you're in during a conversation with a woman is massively important if you're looking to make a good first impression. To talk about state is a topic that warrants its own video, so I'm just going to give you some tips to help you improve your state that are specific to going on dates. Having access to your peak social capability requires you to be in an optimal mental state. So if you're feeling alert, clear and positive, it's going to help you come across a lot more interesting, expressive and charismatic. Get excited by visualizing the date going well. So imagine her company being fun and being pleasant and both of you enjoying yourselves. This will help nullify any nervousness that's typically felt at the anticipation of going on a date. Another thing that you can do to get yourself psyched up and get yourself in a positive mood, listen to your favorite song or listen to some feel-good music before you leave the house or whilst you're on your way to the date to move your body in order to change your state. So for example, if you've been sat in an office all day in a static position, a lot of your energy is going to be in your head instead of in your body. And this is not ideal for fluid emotional communication. Moving your body in an energetic way, dancing to that song that you just put on, or parking a little distance from the date location and walking faster than you normally would. Get the blood flowing and get the energy into the body. If you're going on dates and you find that you're struggling for things to say, you're trying too hard, or there's an excessive need for the date to go well, then you're likely outcome dependent. This can often be felt as a need to brag, an exerted attempt to come across as interesting, or a general agitation that makes you act out of character. And when you're outcome dependent, you'll give off a needy and try-hard energy, and you'll struggle to resist to say things as a means to try and impress. This can be detected by a woman through your behavior, and it's off-putting or even repelling. Outcome dependence is caused by an expectation or goal that you're placing too much emphasis on. You need it too much. For example, you'll only feel good about the date if she tells you that she likes you, she's mirroring you in the way that you would like her to be, or you get a kiss at the end. So having these things in your mind as a metric for a successful date can make you come across as awkward and can also sabotage your natural expression. Once you're in this state, it can be very difficult to shake off. Remind yourself that any one date is not particularly important, and you shouldn't be getting excessively uptight or needy over a girl that you don't even know yet. One thing that's sure to put you in a reactive mind state and inhibit your expression is to put the girl on a pedestal. She's particularly attractive and you're rating her value just based on her looks. What you're actually doing is objectifying her. So go in with the mindset that you're going to have a conversation with a human being and not just trying to validate yourself by pulling a hot girl. Remind yourself of your best personal qualities, what you have to offer, and how she's also lucky to be meeting you. This should help to take the needy edge off the way that you come across in your communication. The prerequisite of these exercises being effective is that you're actually working on improving yourself and achieving goals which you should be doing anyway. Try to adopt a mindset that you're going on a date merely just to have a nice time and get to know the woman. Be interested in getting to know her, not because you're lonely and you want to be with someone, but because you want to find out if she's suitable for you. Eliminate any need or expectation that the date will lead to anything, and just try and be in the present moment and experience the woman for who she is.
Most guys, they get stuck in an interview style conversation by asking lots of boring questions when they're on a date. What this does, it sets the foundation for a more logical and serious interaction rather than a spontaneous and humorous one. Conversations of this nature can dry out quickly and cause you to run out of things to say. This then paves the way for those dreaded, awkward silences that women avoid like the plague. The key point to remember here is that women respond to how you make them feel, not what you make them think. The most impressive conversational topics won't work in your favor unless you know how to weave a light-hearted and fun vibe into the interaction. Pay more attention to the tone, passion, and delivery of what you're saying, rather than trying to come up with highly intelligent or self-proven comments. Your conversation should be emotionally uplifting and not incite negativity or argument. Another mistake guys make is they talk about themselves too much, or they'll interrupt the conversation before the girls finish speaking. This usually happens because the guy's feeling awkward and is a coping mechanism to release that nervous tension. It's something to be mindful of because it creates the impression that you're not valuing the girl's contribution to the conversation. Be passionate about simply listening to the woman rather than impatiently waiting for your turn to speak. This will make her feel like you value her company and you're enjoying what she says.
So if you've ever had it after a date where the woman said that she just didn't feel it, or she didn't feel there was a spark there, some of this would have been because the conversation wasn't stimulating, you didn't make her laugh enough, or you just didn't connect with her at a deep level. The main reason, however, would have been down to lack of romantic chemistry. Simply put, she didn't feel excited by you in a man-to-woman way. A major cause of this is because your communication with the woman can be likened to that of a friend, rather than a man that she would consider as a romantic partner. What you need to realize is women are not going on dates to have the typical nice and tame conversation that they would usually have with their family or their friends. So it's the romantic undertone in the interaction which will determine how much the woman enjoys your company. She's looking for someone that encourages her to express that flirtatious impulse that she's had to restrict in her usual family and work life. But when the woman arrives, tell her she looks amazing. Give her a kiss on the cheek if she appears open to it, and then lead her to the area where you're going to sit on the date. What this is going to do is display confidence straight away and set the correct narrative that this is a date and not a friendly meetup. If possible, try and sit side by side rather than across the table from each other. This will make the date feel like you're having a shared experience together rather than two strangers filling in the gaps and awkward silences from across the table. When you meet someone new, the physical boundaries are set very early, so initiating light and welcome physicality and flirtation early on will be important in setting the romantic frame with your date. She's meeting you for a date, so she's going to be expecting you to lead and make things happen. There should have already been some acknowledgement that you find each other attractive to have even arranged the date in the first place. If you find you're having trouble or feel uncomfortable conveying a flirtatious energy, try to imagine things getting a lot more romantically heated between the two of you, and imagine her staring into your eyes in a provocative fashion. This will help to put a glint in your eye that the woman will read as a flirtation signal and cause her to feel that romantic chemistry that you usually get told isn't there. This will also help to prevent you from being put in the friend zone.
To summarize, set a relaxed narrative with a phone call or voice notes before the date. Your state or mood will determine the overall success of the date, so get out of your head and into the body. Outcome dependence will create a needy, desperate vibe which will repel the woman and kill attraction. Women respond to how they feel, not what they think. Less logical conversation, more fun, emotional energy. Finally, avoiding the friend zone is going to depend on the intensity of your romantic communication. Here's a few ideas on places and events where you can take the girl on the date. Ideally, you want to take your date somewhere which is either interesting, calming, or stimulating. Things like crazy golf, going to an aquarium, maybe a museum, or just a coffee in a tranquil location. All of these are good examples of non-committal date settings, because you don't want to arrange a date when you're stuck together for a long period of time, just in case you don't like each other. You can also arrange it when you go to 2 or 3 different locations on the date. The more variety of experiences that someone has with you, the more connection is created between the two of you. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions that you have as a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video.